Hi everyone, welcome to Swift Crossing. Today we are going to be reading an article together from Time Magazine. It was announced earlier today that Taylor Swift is Time Magazine's 2023 Person of the Year, which is super exciting. Not really surprised, but very cool to hear the first in-depth interview that Taylor has given us since the Lover era, where she has given us insight into her tour, the rehearsals, her relationship, what's on her mind. I have only seen what Time posted on their Instagram, so just like some highlights that I put a couple shorts out earlier this morning when I first saw this. I've seen most of the pictures, I think, but we're gonna actually read the full article together. So we've got this nice black and white photo of Taylor. Wow, this is really dark. I'm going to highlight as we read because I don't know why they chose these colors for their website. Here we go. This is my first time reading the article, so I'm super excited. Taylor Swift is telling me a story, and when Taylor Swift tells you a story, you listen, because you know it's going to be good, not only because she's had an extraordinary life, but because she's an extraordinary storyteller. This one is about a time she got her heart broken, although not in the way you might expect. She was 17, she says, and she had booked the biggest opportunity of her life so far, a highly coveted slot opening for country superstar Kenny Chesney on tour. This was going to change my career, she remembers. I remember this era. I was so excited, but a couple weeks later, Swift arrived home to find her mother, Andrea, sitting on the front steps of their house. She was weeping, Swift says. Her head was in her hands as if there had been a family emergency. Through sobs, Andrea told her daughter that Chesney's tour had been sponsored by a beer company. Taylor was too young to join. I was devastated, Swift says. But some months later, at Swift's 18th birthday party, she saw Chesney's promoter. Kenny Chesney was like the country star back then. Like he was one of the most popular. Him and Tim McGraw, like Keith Urban, they were the country music industry. At Swift's 18th birthday party, she saw Chesney's promoter. He handed her a card from Chesney that read, as Swift recalls, "I'm sorry that you couldn't come on tour, so I wanted to make it up to you." With the note was a check. It was more money than I'd ever seen in my life, Swift says. I was able to pay my band bonuses. I was able to pay for my tour buses. I was able to fuel my dreams. She's still doing that kind of stuff for her team today whenever she can. That's awesome to see it started so early that that's what she chose to invest in. We've got this amazing, such a like rock and roll type picture here with Taylor and Benji. Listening to Swift share this on a clear fall afternoon in her New York City apartment, I'm struck by how satisfying the story is. There are high stakes at the outset. There are details, vivid and sensory. There's a twist that flips the action on its head, and there's a happy ending for its hero. It takes her only about 30 seconds to recount this, but those 30 seconds contain an entire narrative world. But the Taylor Swift Person of the Year issue, this is by, and it's just an advertisement. I'm not surprised. Swift has a preternatural. I've never seen that word before, so I don't know what that means. I also just want to say that there might be people coming in and out and dogs. So if it gets really chaotic at any time, I apologize and I might stop the stream. But while it's quiet, I'll try to go as fast as I can. I'm not surprised. Swift has a preternatural. What does that mean? Is it like extraordinary? Let's Google it. Preternatural. Beyond what is normal or natural. Well, that makes sense. Skill for finding the story. Her anecdote about Chesney symbolizes a larger narrative in Swift's life, one about redemption, where our protagonist discovers new happiness, not despite challenges, but because of them. Swift, as we'll discuss, took a few hits to get here. I've been raised up and down the flagpole of public opinion so many times in the last 20 years, she says as we tuck into a cozy den off the kitchen to talk. And she kicks off her shoes and curls up onto the sofa. I've been given a tiara. Wouldn't you just love to see that and be in the room when she does that? Oh my god. It's so natural, but like preternatural. preternatural. I've been given a tiara, then had it taken away. Very similar to her lyrics of her crown got taken away, her castle crumbling. She is seemingly unguarded in conversation, reflective about both where she's been and where she finds herself now. After all, while she's long been one of the biggest entertainers in the world, this year is different. It feels like a breakthrough moment of my career, happening at 33. She says, and for the first time in my life, I was mentally tough enough to take what comes with that. This is her story, even if she's now so high that it's hard to believe she was ever low. I hope she really is mentally strong enough to keep up with it, because Swifties have loved her for a long time, and there's a lot of new Swifties, but there's always been haters. And she said herself she fears that she's on the edge of overexposure right now. So I hope she's strong enough to handle this and has the support system for whatever comes next, because you can't climb forever. Maybe you can. This is preternatural that we're talking about. Love this picture with the silver glitter top. Swift's accomplishments as an artist, culturally, critically, and commercially, true, she's a genius when it comes to commercialism, are so legion that to recount them seems almost beside the point. As a pop star, she sits in a rarefied company alongside Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, and Madonna. As a songwriter, she has been compared to Bob Dylan, Paul McCartney, and Joni Mitchell. Preach. Yes. As a businesswoman, she has built an empire, worth by some estimates over $1 billion. And as a celebrity who, by dint of being a woman, is scrutinized for everything from whom she dates to what she wears, she has long commanded constant attention and knows how to use it. Even me, a unknown person to most people with like 500 YouTube subscribers, just because I love Taylor Swift and I make a lot of Taylor Swift content, I get so much hate just by being associated with Taylor. So like, imagine how she feels. I don't give Taylor advice about being famous, Stevie Nicks tells me. She doesn't need it. But this year, something shifted. To discuss her movements felt like discussing politics or the weather, a language spoken so widely it needed no context. She became the main character of the world. The author of this article gets it. Wow, what a sentence. That's so true. She's been our main character for 17 years, but now she's the main character of the world. Dang. If you're skeptical, consider it. How many conversations did you have about Taylor Swift this year? The limit does not exist. How many times did you see a photo of her while scrolling on your phone? Do you know that my phone literally recognizes Taylor as a person in my albums? Like it's me, my boyfriend, my best friends. I'll show you. It's literally me and then Taylor as the second most popular person that it recognizes in my phone's contacts. Were you one of the people who made a pilgrimage to a city where she played? I did. I got to go to Tampa 3 times to see her. Did you buy a ticket to her concert film? I did, twice. Did you double tap an Instagram post? I think it might get loud. Never mind. Did you double tap an Instagram post or laugh at a tweet or click on a headline about her? Did you find yourself humming Cruel Summer while waiting in line at the grocery store? Did a friend confess that they watched clips of the Eras Tour night after night on TikTok? Or did you? Yes, shout out to Testier, and we also watch the Eras Tour sometimes here on the channel live. Cruel Summer was one of my favorites back in the Lover era, so back then I was constantly humming it and singing it. I love this picture. It gives horse girl vibes in the coolest way. This is a long article. Her epic career retrospective tour, recounting her artistic eras, which played 66 dates across the Americas this year, is projected to become the biggest of all time and the first to gross over $1 billion. Analysts talked about the Taylor effect as politicians from Thailand, Hungary, and Chile implored her to play their countries. And people were like really shaming her for not going to every single city in the world, basically. Cities, stadiums, and streets were renamed for her. Every time she came to a new place, a mini economic boom took place as hotels and restaurants saw a surge of visitors, and they gouged their prices. In releasing her concert movie, Swift bypassed studios and streamers. Legendary! Instead, forging an unusual pact with AMC, giving the theater chain its highest single-day ticket sale in history. There are at least 10 college classes devoted to her, including one at Harvard. The professor, Stephen E. Burt, a hero, tells Time, I'm inserting my own things in here, sorry. She plans to compare Swift's work to that of a poet, William Wordsworth. Friendship bracelets traded by her fans. Sorry, I was checking the chat. Hi, Pyman, formerly Clipper. Thank you for all the support. You're the best. Let's see. I was talking about friendship bracelets. There we go. Friendship bracelets traded by her fans at concerts became a hot accessory. I think I might need to go.